After closing out their trip west with 2 thrilling wins, Josh Giddey and the Bulls are back home hosting the Miami Heat. It's always a big game when the Heat are in town, but even bigger tonight, a pivotal NBA Cup game between 2 of the teams currently in second place in Group C. The Bucks are in first place with 2 Cup wins. The Bulls, Knicks, and Heat all with a win apiece. But the Bulls' point differential working in their favor for now, looking to boost their standings tonight with a win over one of their great rivals. Welcome to the United Center, everyone. I am Ruthie Polinsky, thrilled to be joining Adam, Stacey, and Casey for another Spotlight broadcast. And it is a particularly special week this weekend here at the United Center as we are honoring the 2025 Ring of Honor inductees, and 2 of them will join us tonight on the broadcast. We'll catch up with Horace Grant and Neil Funk during the game. Now the Bulls are riding high as they return to play in front of their home crowd after Nikola Vucevic hit another game-winning shot to give the Bulls their 2nd straight win on Wednesday night. Vucevic shot at the buzzer, held off the Blazers' attempt at a 4th quarter comeback. The Bulls are now 6-4 in clutch games this season. And dating back to March 27th, no one has done it like the Chicago Bulls. They lead the NBA in game-winning shots under 3 seconds. No one could forget that Josh Giddey shot against the Lakers and the 2 game winners from Vooch this month. Injury-wise, a couple of updates for you. Kobe White is going to sit this one out with the intent to play tomorrow. The good news is Tre Jones is back. Casey Johnson has more.
Thanks, Ruthie. That's right. Tre Jones is back tonight after missing those 3 games with that ankle injury. Now, he will come off the bench with Ayo Dosunmu getting his first start, but he will play some minutes with Josh Giddey, and their solid on-court chemistry actually started as a rivalry. Tre Jones told me that they matched up many times together from their days with the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference. And when they both arrived in Chicago, they obviously just are 2 high IQ players that have learned to play off of each other with their pass-first mentality. That's why they've been so effective together, and we'll see that again tonight.
Giddey, lob, Uzi! Go get it, Uzi Vert! Giddey walks into one. And hits! OG Anunoby. Oh, knocked that away, and then Ayo Dosunmu. Look what I found!
Ball on Chicago Sports Network is brought to you in part by Toyota. Visit your Chicagoland Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Prevagen, made for your brain. Calamos, create tomorrow, start today, financial well-being accessible to all. And by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers.
Number 45, Davion Mitchell. A 6'4" guard from UCLA, number 24, Norman Powell. A 7-foot center from Indiana, number 7, Khalil Ware. A 6'5" forward from Arizona, number 9, Pelle Larsson. And a 6'9" forward from Kentucky, number 13, Bam Adebayo. The head coach of the Miami Heat is Erik Spoelstra.
Bulls Nation. Bulls Nation.
You know what time it is?
You know what time it is. You know.
Are you ready?
It's time to see red.
starting lineup for your Chicago Bulls. From Chicago, a 6'10 forward, number 14, Modest Buzelis. A 6'5 forward from Auburn, number 35, Isaac Okoro. The man in the middle from USC in Montenegro, and 6'11", number 9, Nikola Vucevic. From Chicago, a 6'4 guard, number 11, Ayo Dosunmu. And a 6'8 guard from Australia, number 3, Josh Giddey. That's the starting lineup for your
Investments. It's the Bulls and the Heat in Game 3 of the third Emirates NBA Cup. These two teams have gotten to know each other very well. Adam Amin, Stacey King. The Heat have gotten the brunt of the Bulls' damage. They've lost 8 of the last 10 meetings against the Bulls, but when it's really counted in the play-in tournament each of the last 3 seasons, the Prevagen memorable moment shows us the Heat have actually come through big.
Well, again, I mean, they're a different team in the playoffs.
Yep.
And Spoelstra is showing you why he's one of the best coaches and gets his team prepared. And it's not a fluke. It's not a fluke that this has happened the last few years.
Heat come in tonight with a record of 9-6. They've won their last couple of ball games. They beat New York on Monday night in a 2-point victory and then blew out a shorthanded Golden State team on Wednesday with a huge fourth quarter. They do not have Andrew Wiggins, Nikola Jovic, or Tyler Hero, who's expected to make his season debut Monday. Bulls are without Kobe White tonight. They do have Tre Jones off the bench. Ayo Dosunmu makes his first start, and Buzelis will jump it up against Kel'el Ware, and away we go from Chicago. Tony Brothers, our lead official tonight, the veteran of 30-plus seasons. There is Norman Powell. He's their leading scorer this season, showing that last year was no fluke. Pelle Larsson, the former Arizona Wildcat, misfires. Adebayo's attempt to put it back won't go. Ware's last to touch. It's Bulls ball.
Well, again, if they watched any of the game against Portland, they probably told their players to hit the offensive glass. The Bulls struggled late in the game against the Portland Trailblazers, boxing out.
Second chance opportunities too much for the opponents. Bulls are 8-6 after their 2-1 West Coast swing, with Vucevic nailing critical three-pointers, including the game winner at the buzzer against Portland. Here's Buzelis trying to bounce back tonight. Finds Giddey for 3.
Bang, bang, bang. Good driving kick.
These two teams are mirror images of each other. The Bulls have been as good of a drive and kick team as any in the league. Nice move by Bam Adebayo, playing his second game back from a toe injury.
Oh, Bam Adebayo is going to be one of the main guys tonight. He's going to get a lot of shots, both him and Powell.
Powell is averaging 25 a game this year so far. Adebayo averaging 19 and 8. Nice slip and a pull of the jersey. It's a foul against Pelle Larsson. Minute plus in as you look at the Bet365 player props.
You don't think the LA Clippers wish they would have kept Powell? Underrated.
Now traded from Los Angeles last year, split the rest of the season with Miami and re-signed, and has put together a fabulous start. One of the best three-point shooters in the league at 47%. Ridiculous. Ayo late in the clock. Okoro's got a fire. And Powell, one of the smaller guys on the floor, has the board. Here's the smallest guy on the floor. That's Davion Mitchell, who's done a nice job at point guard. Lobbing it up top for Ware. Tough catch. Recoils. Blocked by the rim. Out of bounds to the Heat.
How about Davion Mitchell with the little shoulder push off? A little strong guard.
Well, he's the shortest guy on the floor, but he's not poorly built. He's well structured in the shoulders. Inbound to Powell. That won't go, so a rare miss it feels like from him. Here comes Giddey on the attack. Across the drive, the glide.
Let me get some butter with that roll, Josh Giddey.
He's got all 5 for the Bulls, who lead by 3. There's Adebayo. He'll pull up. He's been shooting well, and he knocks down a 3. 37%. He's started to become a better three-point shooter the last 2 seasons.
There was a time he would not even take that shot.
Here is the setup for Vucevic. And Ware flies in, the second-year man with the rebound.
They're really high on Ware. They think he's got a chance to be very, very good. once he gets some more experience, a little weight on his body.
He's a second-team all-rookie selection with Buzelis last year. Adebayo comes up short. Ware couldn't squeeze it, and it's Bulls ball. Bulls on the top side of a back-to-back. They'll take on the Wizards tomorrow night. The schedule will lighten up for about a week and a half, just based on the opponent's win percentage coming up. This is a key test for Billy Donovan's crew tonight, though.
They got a chance to really do some special things during that stretch.
Playing the Washingtons and the Indianas of the world. That should potentially, you could have called the foul on Buzelis, frankly, there. Larson's frustrated because Buzelis kind of wrapped him up around the shoulders, but Larson will get tagged for it. Bulls will take it, and it'll be side out, or away from the play, I should say. They're going to call an away from the play foul, so a shot in the ball. If you commit a foul before the inbounds pass gets delivered on a side out, then it's away from the play. Eric Spoelstra, the new head coach of Team USA, closing in on 800 career wins, vehemently disagrees with the call. There is Coach Spo, one of the best in the business. Now with the retirement of Greg Popovich this past offseason, the longest tenured head coach in the NBA in his 18th season. Now you can hear him quite clearly. He thought it was a terrible call. It's a break for the Bulls. They'll take it to take the lead. Ayo making his first start of the season, stepping through and scoring.
I'll tell you what, he has been automatic going to the basket with that layup. Both him and Trey Jones, I said it the other day, they practiced that move.
And Mitchell draws an Okoro foul. He'll have 2 shots.
They've been practicing that high layup off the glass, going over the big guys, and they've been finishing at a high clip. Here it is right here, nice little wheel action, and there's right over the top of the big guy.
Jaime Jaquez is 6'6", and Dosunmu was able to glide through. Bulls fans at 7:30 tonight, so about 13 minutes away. Got a Bulls drop, so open up your Bulls app. Join the drop for your chance to win a custom statement jersey presented by American Express. Davion Mitchell, just 6 feet tall, but he packs a punch, and he has performed very well. And last to touch was Giddey, so it'll be Heat ball with 14 to shoot. They've done a nice job. Hero really became the ball handler last year. Obviously, he hasn't played yet, so Mitchell has done an excellent job in that role. There's Powell. Runner in the paint. The bag is much deeper now for Norman Powell. His offensive game has improved.
Well, that was a nice out-of-bounds play. They sent like 2 guys as decoys, and then Powell came right behind the second guy.
They had 2 lead blockers for him, essentially, running through the hole.
Oh, you got to post up.
Yeah, Vucevic has Davion Mitchell on him right now. Giddey finds a cutting Okoro, though. Nice finish. You know, you get a little antsy when you see Vucevic with that good of a size advantage, but Okoro is able to get it done.
But he's got to take advantage of those matchups. You don't get them every night.
This is a tough matchup for Modest, so he has to go up against Bam Adebayo as Vucevic has Kel'el Ware. Hey! Okoro drives and unable to finish against Mitchell. Here comes Jaquez. Miami still yet to lead. It is Ware on the feed. Nice job by Buzelis.
Might have got a piece of that.
He certainly deterred the shot from Ware. Here comes Giddey back. Buzelis. The step on the drive into Adebayo. It's a blocking foul. So end-to-end action from Modest Buzelis, who got pulled after 2 minutes against Portland.
Yeah, here it is right here. He comes over there and just, he might have got a piece of that.
Absolutely.
And then he goes right to the rim. And one thing you have to really watch out for this Miami Heat team is they are, you know, historically good at drawing charges. These guys will take charges all night long, so you got to be very careful.
Yep.
Hey, Bulls fans, sit at Benny's Splash Zone by Jewel Osco. Experience Benny's famous popcorn spill and get complimentary popcorn. Visit bulls.com/splash zone to learn more.
It's not the easiest thing to say, /splash zone. It's given me my fair share of issues.
I had a tongue twister the other day in Portland. I was like, oh, seashore, by the seashore. they gave me a classic read.
Classic nursery rhyme.
Yeah, everything was like kind of like matching, and I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm struggling.
You haven't brushed up on your iambic pentameter lately.
It was terrible.
4-point Bulls lead 4 minutes in. Jaquez rotates. It's Adebayo. Mitchell on the attack. He's got that little float and finger roll game going very well.
Now, you know, KYP, know your personnel. He's not going to shoot it. He's going to try to drive it.
Here is Giddey sweeping through. Got stuck. Dosunmu had to save it to Buzelis, who saves it at midcourt with the Jaquez deflection. He comes back and steals it. Here comes Jaquez back. Off to Mitchell, into Okoro. Back outside for Powell. Trying to put the moves on Giddey. He draws the foul, and he'll have a couple of shots coming. Giddey frustrated with the sequencing of that defensive possession, and he ends up with the foul. His first and the second on the Bulls.
Amadas kind of got a little bit too comfortable dribbling the ball before. Wasn't strong with it. There's a little reach in.
Stream the Bulls and up to 3 devices at home or on the go with the CHSN app. Signing up is very easy at subscribe.chsn.com for your 7-day free trial. The home stream advantage on the Chicago Sports Network. Norman Powell has a point at the line. We'll step aside with 7.5 to play. Opening quarter in this NBA Cup contest. Dignitaries in that shot: Bob Costas, John Paxson, of course the great Neil Funk, all part of our Ring of Honor ceremonies.
It was real fun last night.
Bob Costas.
The words are burned into my head. 17 seconds from Game 7 or championship number 6. Jordan, Open, Chicago with the lead. Those words are burned into the childhood of so many Bulls fans. And then, of course, Neil Funk a few seats down. Jordan hangs, fires, scores. Michael Jordan's famous final shot as a Chicago Bull in Utah for championship number 6.
I tell you what, these guys are iconic guys. We were talking about it last night at the Ring of Honor dinner. You got guys like Chick Hearn and Johnny Most and Al McCoy and Phoenix and all these legendary guys Neil came in with.
Vucevic in traffic. He'll draw a foul, and that'll go against Davion Mitchell, who ended up in the fray.
And the one thing that all these guys had in common were the voices. The voices of the decade, generational voices that you just remember. You didn't have to see their faces, just their voice. You knew who it was.
It was funny, I was talking to Eric Reed, who's the wonderful television play-by-play voice for the Miami Heat. Has been doing it pretty much since the inception of the team in 1988. And Eric was telling me that he started saying kaboom because of Neil Funk. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yes. How did that come about? He goes, I was in the back of a cab. Yep. We were talking to the cab driver who was from a different country, and the cab driver started talking to Dr. Jack Ramsey, and he said, I love listening to the Bulls on the radio. He goes, oh, why is that? He goes, because the announcer says kaboom. And Eric loved just the sound or the concept of saying kaboom for a big shot. And then he kind of adopted that as well. So he took from Neil Funk in the way that a lot of musicians might interpolate something from an artist that they love. Eric Reed kind of took that. Nice pass to Okoro for the deuce.
Well, see, I was at home one night sick, and I'd never heard that. And I heard Eric Reed yell kaboom.
Yeah.
So I made a few phone calls. And me and Funk, we were gonna pay him a visit. Like, you can't be using my man's catchphrase, buddy. But I've known Eric Reed when I was playing down there.
For the Heat as well.
He's a great dude, man. He always gives Neil credit for that, too. Which is awesome. A lot of guys don't do that.
And pays homage to him. Nice maneuvering with the left hand by Williams off the glass.
He listened. He listened to me. I told him something about that jump hook.
He can use it on either side. He's got the strength to do so. Nice drive by Mitchell. Very crafty small guard.
Well, one of the things Patrick does is when he gets inside, he just shoots the ball. He's got a push shot. And I told him the other day on the West Coast trip, like, when you get inside and get that jump hook, you jump so well. Just go elevate over people, turn that hand, put that hand on top of the ball.
Oh, nice play by Simone Fontecchio. Knocked it free from Herter. Up ahead for Ware with the Euro, and Herter recovers with a block. Right back to Ware, and one. Well, good recovery by Ware.
That was a slow Euro move by Ware. Yep. The Bulls blocked that shot, just couldn't come up with that loose ball.
The foul is on Williams in the fray.
Here it is right here. Good defense.
So Kel'el Ware to the free throw line. Some folks pronounce it Khalil, and he says that's okay too, but he told a couple of people that his birth name is based off of his mother loving the character Superman. And of course, Superman's name is Kal-El, and she changed it from an A to an E, so she calls him Kal-El. So I'm just going to roll with that because his mom calls him Clay.
That's what his mama calls him that.
Here's the drive by Giddey, dumps it off for Vucevic, working on Ware, a little too strong on the hook. And Ware, who's averaging a double-double, already got 3 points, 3 boards. Nice knock away by Williams.
Defense by P-Dub.
Punched it away from Jaquez. Vucevic running the floor. The pass a little late and a little low, and Powell's able to knock it free and steal it. Finds Mitchell. That's a 3. And it's short.
That's that shot you're going to give up, Mitchell. You give him that shot until he proves that he's a consistent outside shooter.
This year he's been right around 40% in a lower volume. He had a good season last year. Tre Jones is making his first appearance since the game in Detroit. Giddey and Vucevic come off. Bulls go a little smaller here. They do bring in Smith. But Jones coming off the bench after dealing with that ankle issue that had kept him off the West Coast trip. Here's Powell. And you can just tell that he's worked hard on his offensive game, and he's got so many other moves and drives to be able to score. Nice slip to Smith.
Play. Good pass by Patrick Williams, a two-man game. Nice little deal and wheeler right there. He just went right to the rim. Two-man game.
And tied a few times. Bulls have led the entirety of the way, and Ware gets another tie with a nice feed from Fontecchio.
You got to start keeping these guys in front of you. That was a big problem in Portland the other night.
Yep.
Guys were breaking guys down off the initial.
Williams, no. Tapped by Ware out of bounds to the Bulls.
Now watch this two-man game right here with Smith and Williams. And this is our Duncan dunk. Everything runs on Duncan. And there's Mr. Smith dunking. Look at that little pocket pass right there. That was a nice pass by Patrick Williams in the pocket. And all Smith had to do is go get it.
All in stride for the big man. The 5th assist on 7 Bulls baskets. Tied at 20. Action for Herder. Coming off a tough shooting game in Portland. Here's Ayo. Handoff for Jones. Working on the taller Jaquez. Late in the clock. Got to go. It's Jones for a 3. Rebounded by the Heat. Picked up by Keyshawn Johnson in his second year, undrafted free agent. Played in an NCAA title game for San Diego State. Drew Smith is having a nice start to his season as well. They're really leaning into the younger guys like Johnson.
Well, they're one of the best teams at finding guys that no one else wants and conforming them to Heat players, the Heat culture.
Miami has come back to take its first lead after leading by 7 or trailing by 7.
It's a 12-2 run by the Heat.
Dosunmu another driving blind to the rim.
Nothing you can do when he gets downhill.
Best 2-point shooters in the history of the Chicago Bulls. Good defense by Herder on Jaquez. He returns the favor. Dosunmu fighting off Fontecchio. Jones tries to follow it. A foul is late, but it's called as Tre Jones was there to follow it up. The foul goes against Jaquez. The Bulls are in the bonus.
We talk about help defense. This is what gets you help right here. Now watch. Look who comes over there. Boom. There's Idle right there. And we talk about that on a nightly basis. That's one of the areas the Bulls have to consistently get better at. Closest man to the ball handler, be in position to help and leave your man for a second just for some support. It's a good job by Ayo.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. Marquette Bank is Chicago's trusted neighborhood bank and home lender. You can level up your banking at emarquettebank.com. Love where you bank.
See Dalen Terry checking in. He had a nice road trip.
Yep. Particularly the last 2 games. Denver and Portland put up very solid minutes while the Bulls were navigating the pendulum swings of all 3 of those games. Big leads blown, big shots late. That seemed to be a theme these last few days. Fontecchio stumbles and finds Smith. And reach and foul. That'll be the last foul to give for the Bulls, and it goes against Patrick Williams. That's his 2nd personal. They will say it was in the act of shooting, so 2 shots coming. Well, this is Drew Smith, 4th year out of Missouri, re-signed with the Heat. Already more usage this season than any of his first 3 seasons. With a lot of injuries, had a torn ACL and a ruptured Achilles, but they continue to invest in their young players.
Well, and the thing about the guys they get, you know, they have the same kind of makeup. They're tough guys. You come back from those type of injuries, you have to be mentally tough. And that's, you know, Pat Riley started when he went down there to Miami, just trying to, develop a culture where guys are tough. and mentally tough, not just physically tough, but mentally tough.
They still do the same things that they did when you played your stint in Miami. They still chart charges and deflections and the hustle plays. They still have chart help defense. They chart a lot of those hustle things that make up what is now called good culture. Smith, no. Johnson fights off Buzelis for the rebound.
Well, and what it does is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, it's a proven formula. I mean, Pat Riley was the first one really with analytics. I mean, he's the one that like broke down how many guys, what a guy shoots from the corner, what he shoots from the top of the circle. We used to go over that all the time, and you know where we can relax that defensively and where we have to close out aggressively.
Buzelis to tie it. That won't go. Long rebound belongs to Smith. They've made the playoffs 26 of the 37 years they've been in existence. It's a pretty good ratio. Buzelis with a foul. Let's do some quick math / typing it into a tablet. 70% of Miami's seasons they've gone to the postseason. Bulls trying to get back to the playoffs. They've been eliminated from the play-in tournament each of the last 3 seasons by this pesky, plucky Miami Heat squad.
In pace of play, the Bulls rank 3rd in the NBA. And I asked Erik Spoelstra about this game tonight, and he said these teams are having a very similar style of play. They both have a bit of a grittiness to them, he told me. And I also asked Bam Adebayo. He told me we're expecting a track meet tonight. He said it's going to come down to who is the most disciplined on the defensive end and who's going to get more stops.
And Ruthie, you look at Bam Adebayo, we hit him with the government name, by the way, Idris. He is the face of this now, along with Tyler Hero, but again, Hero hasn't played. They're able to play faster because a player like Bam, who plays the 4 and plays the 5 in the smaller lineup, can run with the rest of these fast-moving guards. That's why they've been able to make a transition this year.
And they both teams. I mean, you know, you made some trades to get guys that can play this style of play. You got rid of guys like Jimmy Butler, who did a great job for them in Miami, but he was an isolation player.
Yep.
Zach LaVine and DeMar were isolation players here. So when you have those type of players, you're going to play a lot slower, more you know, half-court type of stuff. But now you got these guys that can get up and down and run, and I believe you're going to see more teams play like this.
Miami was 28th in pace last year before being #1 this year. Jones a little out of control. He controlled the shot off the glass.
Jones said out of control compared to who? It's like he knew what he was doing. Bulls in the zone right now.
Out of the timeout, so they'll bust this out. Here is Smith firing away, and he hits the 3. This is one of the best, and again, mirror images of each other. 2 great 3-point shooting teams.
Bang, bang, bang.
Smith hits that one after Smith hit the other one. These are 2 of the top 4 3-point shooting teams in the NBA so far this year. Johnson fires in and out, nearly got it to go. What a save by Smith to Adebayo. 90 seconds left. Fontecchio, he's having an outstanding year shooting the 3. Terry ends up getting him on the wrist, according to the veteran Tony Brothers. And that will send Fontecchio to the line for 2 shots.
Well, here it is right here again.
It should be 3, actually. Tony Brothers put up 2 fingers.
Well, and one of the things about Miami is they are a consistent team that's always going to be up there shooting the 3 ball. They work on that every day. They shoot thousands of threes. So what you're seeing with them now with this, you know, this faster pace, that means they're going to get to the three-point line and get more shots.
Yep.
So if you're the Bulls, you know this. You just got to close out under control. Don't go for fakes. Stay down and make them make shots with contested hands.
Julian Phillips will get the call late first quarter here for Buzelis. Well, like you said, when you have mirror images of each other, the Bulls play each other in practice this same style. So it's very similar to what you see in a practice scenario just about every day. A lot of fast break opportunities, a lot of points in the paint, a ton of drive and kick to get a lot of catch and shoot threes. Dosunmu with Smith and Jones and Terry and Phillips. Here's Ayo. Still outside the perimeter. Now Terry looking to penetrate. Kick out. Smith. That's a 3. Gets it to go.
Living well.
Jalen Smith right around 39-40% from 3 so far this year.
He's been playing really, really well.
Here's Jaquez. Nice pickup by Terry. Blocked by Smith. Johnson got it back out to Jaquez. Still 4 to shoot. Kick out to Smith. He's going to have to force it, and a foul is called. Count the basket, and Phillips reached in, sending Smith to the line.
Yeah, not a smart play right there by Julian Phillips. Again, just a little bit overreactive right there on it. You did a good job. You closed out. You did your job now. Now just square up now. Because he gave him the right-hand drive. You wanted to take away that right-hand drive and make him shoot. It was only 4 on the clock.
Here comes Jones. Miami gets back defensively. Ayo trying to break down Jaquez, using the body, using the bump. The tip try wouldn't go. It's about a 2-second plus different shot in game clock. Miami can essentially hold for the last shot.
And now the second chance points is 11-2 Miami. Now this is where you, right here, Adam, you got to talk. Where are you sitting? What are we doing here defensively?
Jaquez spinning, Phillips the strip. Ayo tried to save it, out of bounds with 3.1 to shoot.
And you have to communicate. The guys in the back have to communicate and let the guys up from the front court know where to send them.
Nice shot by Ayo. He knocks it out of bounds. So now 2.2. About a second came off. What's been a high-scoring opening quarter? Well, what did Ruthie just tell us? They were all expecting a track meet, and it certainly felt like it at times in that first period. Montecchio gets it off. Won't go. Still time. Smith. Ooh, that's pretty good strength considering he was all the way in the opposite corner. But a high-octane opening 12, 36-32. Miami has the lead in this Emirates NBA Cup group.
Horace, I know all the festivities kicked off last night with the gala and all of the events are taking place this weekend. What does it mean to you this weekend?
I am so humble and honored to accept this invitation from the Chicago Bulls. They accepted me in 1987 by drafting me and just brought me love and respect, and it's such an honor.
7 of your 17 seasons were played here in Chicago. Other than the championships and the winning, what did you love most about your time as a Bull?
As a Bull, the relationship that we grown to have, you know, with all the players, the camaraderie, but most the fans here in Chicago.
You having fun watching this group this year?
Absolutely, man. The sky's the limit for this young basketball team. Be patient, and good things happen.
Horace Grant, congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Awesome stuff, Ruthie. Appreciate your former teammate Horace being kind enough to take some time with our crew tonight.
One of my favorite. All those guys are my favorite, but Horace being Horace, we have a good time together.
Montecchio's missed a couple. Giddey battling with Johnson for the rebound, and he gets called for his second personal foul and immediately goes to Nate Green to politic.
Well, and one of the things about a zone, doesn't matter if it's a good zone or bad zone, it's tough to rebound out of that zone.
It is.
Because you're always constantly out of position. So the Bulls, if they're going to run this zone, they've got to collapse. As soon as that shot goes up, they got to turn and go get the ball, put a body on someone.
Javon Carter is on with Giddey, Smith, Terry, and Phillips. And nice shot by Phillips. He comes over with the help and knocks it off of Smith and out.
Again, help defense. The closest guy to the ball handler. Be in possession to help. Right there. See, boom. There's been many times I've drawn that up, and guys are standing there and let that guy drive to the basket. Good job by Julian Phillips.
This is the second Miami turnover. Giddey the spin and the sweep through. Smith tried to save it, but it's out of bounds to Miami. Bulls with their 5th turnover.
The Bulls got to stay away from having these turnovers, especially the ones where they're coming up with these empty possessions and it's really not being forced.
A lot of possessions given away between turnovers and second chances. Johnson. That won't go. That
He just pushed him in the back.
He sure did, and that's a foul.
That's 5 to 10.
Well, he looked like his nickname's namesake. Looked like Bam Bam Rubble that time.
Here he is right here. Watch. I mean, that, oh, man. I don't think, how did he thought he was going to get away with that one? That was 2 hands in the back.
Dries was 1 year old when his mom Marilyn started calling him Bam Bam because he was watching Flintstones and flipped a coffee table over like Bam Bam Rubble. There is Terry. That won't go. Close to the rim, it wouldn't fall, and out of the pack is Johnson. Key shot. Keyshawn Johnson cut off by good defense from Smith. Drew Smith rotates it. Pelle Larsson on the attack and a reach and foul. This one will go against Phillips. That will be his second. And the second on the Bulls already in the first 96 seconds. Pelle Larsson, high-level collegiate player at Arizona. Stockholm, Sweden native, another guy that they invested in on a loaded Arizona team. There's a foul. You saw Caleb Love the other night. He was one of those teammates of Pelle Larsson on one of those loaded Wildcat crews in the last few years.
Also was in North Carolina.
Yep. Well, Cyber Week is back. Great deals starting November 24th through December the 1st. Get tickets starting at $25. No fees on the tickets. More all week long. Sign up and learn more at bulls.com/cyber. Bio at the free throw line. Herder and Okoro are back. Terry and Phillips will both come to the bench. Bam Adebayo just came back with 20 points against Golden State. Had missed 6 games dealing with a toe strain, so could not move, could not sprint, could not plant in the course of those 2 weeks, but he's back now. So they're getting closer and closer to full strength.
Well, he's actually moving pretty good tonight.
Yep. Nikola Jovic, who's turned into a really nice young player, another guy that they've invested time into. He's out for the second straight time. Giddey, they left him free for the baseline runner, and he missed it. Those have missed some close ones. Shooting an average 47%. Miami just 40% from the field. And 25 from 3. Fontecchio, typically hot, has missed his first few. Dunk attempt by Johnson nearly went down. He flings it up there and draws a late whistle for a foul.
That was a big-time rebound. Almost put that back.
Okoro the foul. They're about to get their 16th and 17th free throws by crashing the glass.
Well, again, I mean, if they, listen, this is where you have scouts. They saw the Portland game. They saw Portland, who's not a very good shooting team, just crash the boards and consistently get themselves offensive rebounds and second chance points. The 2025-26 City Edition, but we're going to come back to that because it's a little timeout right here.
Classic between free throw timeout.
Yeah, we're going to come back to that one. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We'll finish later.
That's how TV's done, baby.
That's how TV. You got to make adjustments.
We adjust on the fly. Just dancing around, vamping like it's Broadway.
Model thousands of times.
No wonder we're J.D. Power's #1 in new vehicle quality. Add a Nissan to your list at the Nissan year-end event. Get 0% APR on select SUVs for well-qualified buyers.
The 25-26 City Edition uniform presented by Motorola Razr is here. A remix of the team's first City jersey. This year's version returns with a bold new look. Jerseys and full retail collection are available now at United Center and on shop.bulls.com. Learn more at bulls.com/city. That was the read right there.
That's right.
That's the read that got me.
We had to make the adjustments on it.
Yes, that was the read that got me right there.
No reads for K.C. Johnson, just information on Bulls personnel tonight. K.C., what'd you learn over the course of the last couple of days?
Yeah, so Kobe White, we knew he was going to play in both games of this back-to-back. It was probably pretty easy to figure out he wasn't going to play tonight because he had 2 days in between that Utah game and Sunday and the Wednesday game in Portland. So they're following that same plan this week. 2 days between the Portland game. He'll play tomorrow night against Washington. He'll still be on a minutes restriction, but obviously Kobe has added a lot of offensive pop in his first 2 games, guys.
52 points in 58 minutes. He hit 8 threes, had 15 assists in those first 2 games back, all off the bench. Getting the rebound.
Well, and the pivotal play was the pass that got Vooch the wide open 3.
Twisting through the lane.
I mean, he went in and got in there and got to the middle of the lane. The defense collapsed, and he made the right play.
Set up for that dramatic finish in Portland 2 nights ago. Neither team has made a bucket in this quarter. It's an 8-point Miami lead. Its largest. Larsson. Good defense by Herder. That's a nice finish by Pelle Larsson.
Man, that's a nice move.
Played 55 games as a rookie last year. Now a real important member of this rotation and, as of late, the starting lineup. Bulls have yet to score a point in this quarter until now. Kevin Herder hits a much-needed Bulls 3. He needed that, too, after being shut out the other night from distance against Portland. And now Smith and Herder end up collapsing on Adebayo. It'll be a Smith foul. And you see Herder and Smith trying to communicate.
Well, and again, I mean, the shot went up. Here's the shot right here by Herder. It's going to come up. Bam backs off. Now, Bam is contesting that shot. And what you saw on the other end, the foul, as he contested the shot, he ran down there and got a post-up situation on Kevin Herder. The Bulls bigs have to hustle back. You can't leave Kevin Herder down there on a mismatch on Bam Adebayo. It's not going to end well for you.
Again, you got to be prepared for it, Stace. Ruthie talked about it. You've talked about the pace of play. We're expecting teams to hurry the ball down the floor and try to get easy basket opportunities. You can't be surprised by it.
And you got to remember, that was off a make.
Yep.
So you got to hustle back. They're pushing the ball as we're pushing the ball, and you got to get back defensively and avoid those matchup problems when you're going to be a mismatch in the paint against a guy like this.
Already 19 free throw attempts by Miami. They've made 15 of them. Adebayo's had a great year going to the free throw line.
The Bulls only 7 free throws.
They made all 7 of theirs, but they're getting outscored by 8 right there at the line. That's about the difference in the game. Here's Herder, picked up by Adebayo on a switch. That means it's the smaller Larson. The double from Adebayo leaves Herder some space, and the rebound to Bam. Just saw his stellar basketball playing partner Asia Wilson win MVP in the WNBA again. Powell, wow, with the bigger bodied Vucevic, and you see the frustration from Vucevic letting Powell get the best of him there.
Well, second chance points right now, 15-2.
After giving up a season worst 38 in Portland. Here's Herder trying to get it to Vucevic. Good fronting job by Keyshawn Johnson. Did that little circle move that you always talk about when you have a size disadvantage.
Well, and listen, Miami's going to play defense.
Yep.
They're a very good defensive team. They're going to get out and compete. And the Bulls right now are kind of loose with the basketball. They got 5 turnovers right now in the early going.
Either 7th in defensive efficiency this year so far. That's typical for the Miami Heat. Here's a tough drive by Okoro. Ware came over, but is it a goaltend? It is. Ware actually had a goaltend called against him against New York the other night that would have tied the game at the end of the game. Ooh. You see it touched glass and had that ricochet before Ware made contact. They went back and looked at that play against the Knicks on Monday night, overturned it. That led to the 2-point Miami win. So you know Ware's aggressive right around the rim. 21 blocks coming into tonight for Kel'el Ware. Lob up top for Ware. He does it at both ends of the floor.
Where's the backside help that time? Nobody on the backside. That was an easy play.
Bulls have broken down defensively at times in this first half. Herder's got space for 3. Okoro tried to slip it out, then right into those waiting arms of Ware. 11-point Miami lead, its largest. Powell looking to extend it. He does with a 3. Now it's a 14-point game. Gonzalez dribbled it off of his foot, got trapped on the deck, and a kickball is the call, which is a break for the Bulls. Otherwise, Miami might be off and running in a fast break situation. Instead, it'll just be a kick. And Miami will have a dead ball takeaway.
Yeah, it is. It's again, not making excuses, but 6 games in 8 days. It's going to have its toll. But you still, it's the NBA though. You got to play. I mean, they're in a zone, and the zone right now is hurting them because they're not rebounding out the zone, and they're giving up easy buckets.
Ware finds the space, misses the hook. Vucevic clears it finally. Here comes Dosunmu driving on Powell. That was Pelle Larsson with some help defense there too. And he lobs it in for Ware. Buzelis has such a tough assignment right now, and he fouls him and 1. They are beating the Bulls down the floor and getting significantly easier looks right now.
But this kind of reminds you going back into the play-in game where they took everything away that the Bulls wanted to do offensively and then just beat them up. And it's very similar to when we saw it in April. This team is, listen, they're going to play the same way every night.
Yep.
They're going to come out and they're going to compete. Spoelstra's going to drive them to compete. They got a bunch of tough guys on that team that refuse to break down. Look at Spoelstra right there. He doesn't even look happy. His team's up.
Bolton in Evanston, raised in Buffalo and in Oregon. Now in his 18th season, of course, was a point guard at Portland in college. Was hired by Pat Riley as a video coordinator in 1995.
Yep. My first year, he was a video coordinator.
That's right.
He was living out of his car.
Dosunmu high off the window. He was sitting there breaking down tape and giving you guys some of that analytics stuff that you were talking about that Riley got into. Here's Larson for 3, and everything going down for Miami now. It is an 18-point lead in a heartbeat, what feels like. They're backing off of Otoro. Williams, he fires over Powell, left it short, rebound Jaquez. With Powell and Mitchell and Larson and Ware. Jaquez. From a fellow UCLA Bruin and Norman Powell. Powell used to play with Zach LaVine. Very deep 3 by Powell.
That was like almost on the Sea of Chicago.
Top 7 in the NBA in 3-point shooting. Vucevic from about the same spot, not even close. A brutal second quarter. The Bulls have been outscored 24-7 in this frame. Giddey trying to light a fire under the group as he comes in with Vucevic, Okoro, Williams, and Jones. Let's see if they can turn up some of the defensive pressure. Jaquez put the moves on Williams. He did not have a great second year. He has bounced back Jaquez nicely this season.
Well, he's out of the rotation.
Yeah.
And, you know, but the kid is a very good player. You remember him at UCLA, boy, I mean, he had a magical run in the tournament.
Yep.
Can handle the ball, can shoot it. You know, and when Jimmy was here, you know, it was a little hard playing, getting minutes with Jimmy there. Now he's kind of freed him up a little bit, and he's a point forward.
Back up to double figures in his season, averaging 17 a game after he averaged just 8 a game last year in that lesser role. Powell a 3 way off.
Bulls got to get out and run. They're kind of jogging.
Miami certainly looks like the fresher team right now. Knocked away by Ware. He snatched it out of the air. Here comes Jaquez. Lob, Ware, got it.
He looked like poor man's Wemby out there.
Real length from Kel'el Ware at 7 feet, 230 pounds. And the Bulls just breaking down in this second quarter. Here's Williams trying to get going on Larson and draws a foul. It'll be just the second on Miami in this second quarter. That's 3 on Larson now. He gets the steal and then gets the finish.
Huge upside.
Yep. Number 15 pick in last year's draft. Started to come on in the month of January last year and has now become a staple in that number 5 role, center position for Miami.
Well, he's a good complement to Bam.
Yeah.
You know, because Bam is more comfortable facing up and using his quickness to blow by people. Even though he can post up, but he allows Bam to be more perimeter oriented. And they're very interchangeable.
Yeah.
You can run a high-low action with them.
Still goes smaller with Adebayo, and that's still a pretty decent size number 5. Here's Jaquez, nice move, can't finish. Vucevic grabs it. See, the Bulls have some thrust in them here. Down 25 at one point. Vucevic can't squeeze it on the follow. Here comes Johnson all the way. That won't go. A little sloppy at that end. Here comes Giddey. Trying to push the pace a little bit. Draws a Powell foul. Just trying to get something going in transition. Giddey, one of the best fast break players in the NBA in the first 20 games or so.
Here it is right here. You can't get in the open court if you don't play defense. You've got to get stops if you're the Bulls.
Powell's first, sends Giddey to the line for 2. You can check out the Chicago lead presented by Wind Creek Chicagoland and Wind Creek Chicago Southland. Are you ready for your winning moment? You can play the hottest table games and celebrate big jackpots at Wind Creek. There's a win waiting for you around every corner.
This is the Bulls' 4th game out of 15 when they trail by 20 or more.
Had the big comeback. You saw it.
It's Philly
against Philadelphia, down 24. Still one of the bigger comebacks in the NBA this year. Jaquez gets called for a foul, so the Bulls are going to be in the bonus for the rest of this period. Now both teams are.
Well, one thing the Bulls have to get over is the mental fatigue. You know you're tired, so you got to play.
4th game out of 5 in a 7-day period. It's one of their tougher stretches of the season after they had some time off before the Utah trip.
Right.
Nice move by Vucevic.
Simple game. There's nothing that they can do with Vuce in the paint.
First field goal for Vucevic, coming off the 27-point night. There's Powell. Putting the moves on Williams, but too strong. Vucevic clears. Here's Buzelis. But the Miami Heat get back fast in transition. Here's Vucevic. Good slip by Giddey, and he scores.
But see, Vuce is a willing passer. Ball goes into the post. He takes 2 power dribbles to the middle. Double comes. He sees a cutter. Drops it off to Giddey. Simple game.
That's the key. Vucevic getting touches in the post.
Yep, there it is right here. Smaller Johnson. Sets the table up for the...
Marker, joined every week by the best guests in the world of sports and entertainment. Catch Give Me the Hot Sauce on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Central or watch on demand in the CHSN app and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, now the Bulls got a little momentum going now. But it starts on the defensive end with these guys. They gotta get some lockdown. Not let this Miami team get this rhythm that they've had here in the first quarter and a half, where they're driving to the basket, getting layups.
Bulls trailed by 25 at one point. They're going to have to come all the way back again to do what they've been doing all season. That's make just about every game a clutch game. Bulls have played 10 clutch games. The Heat have played 7. Both have been very sharp. They have 11 combined wins in those spots so far this year. Let's see if the Bulls can make it a game as we got 2:40 to play in the first half. There's Jaquez. Finds on a bio. That won't go. Backside rebound. Nice job by Jones to tap it away from Jaquez. Bulls on the break. Vucevic. Go down low against Johnson. Giddey trying to break down out of bio. Tough try at the rim.
See, the one time Vuce went into the post right there, that ball should have went into him. He had a smaller guy on. Let's see if they get out of here.
Jaquez made it tough on Williams. Good job to save it to Jones, who initially started all that with the knockaway. One of the best steal men in the NBA. Jones averaging 2 a game. That's top 5 in the league. Good cut by Giddey. Good pass by Vucevic. It's a goaltend.
It's a simple game. Ball goes into the post. Vuce has a mismatch on Johnson, who's much bigger than. Then all of a sudden, Giddey on the offside, look at the weak side, makes a hard basket cut. This is the reason why the Bulls have had success in games they won. Movement without the ball.
7 straight for the Bulls. Powell watched by Buzelis. Vucevic with the hedge. Giddey picks up on a bio, bounce underneath, and a steal.
Oh, now they're getting active hands.
Tre Jones doing what he's done well all year. Buzelis all the way.
It's flying to the rim. And it starts with the defense.
Well, it took a little while, but Buzelis has his first bucket. He's got 4 points, so the Bulls with a little burst here. Mitchell, the cross, and he puts it into that 9-0 Bulls run.
That stopped that 9-0 run right there.
Israel Gutierrez is down in Miami. He'll appreciate 70 seconds left in this half. Here is Buzelis with the left hand.
That's impressive. That's a nice move, going to his left and be able to finish with his left.
It's been a strength for him in the early part of the year. Here's Jaquez against Giddey, slicing through, dunking underneath for 2.
That's a power move right there by Jaquez.
6'6", 230.
He looks every bit of 230.
There's Giddey. Shovel. Chopping in. It's down to 16 now. Point deficit, not what it used to be. Doesn't mean it's something you want to have to do. What Billy Donovan said it the other night, this is not sustainable. Powell draws a reach in on Williams. A tough foul against Patrick, his 3rd of the night, and shots coming for Norman Powell.
Let's see, did he foul him?
That's a tough one against Williams.
It almost like he didn't touch him. Let's see up here.
A better look here. Maybe there's some contact on the right side. It was hard to tell there.
Yeah,
His first look, it didn't look like he made contact with it at all. That sends Powell to the free throw line, where he's already got 14 points tonight.
Right here. Well, Powell did a good job of selling it.
He definitely made contact. I've seen that not get called, but again, Norman Powell has earned the respect. And this has been a really good 2-year stretch. I think people are like, oh, wow, give Norman Powell the chance. He'll score some points for you. He did that last year to the tune of 22 a game. I'm like, all right, well, let's see how he does now. Well, he's doing just fine.
Well, and Adam, this is what happens when you get playing time and teams believe in you and give you an opportunity. He's just taking advantage of the opportunity he's given and showing that he's a very good player.
There's Vucevic, 5 seconds, back to Giddey, blocked out of bounds by Johnson.
Johnson has been very active tonight.
Sure has.
I mean, he's shown you some good athleticism.
.4 left. Vucevic gets a look to beat the buzzer, and this one falls short. And the Bulls end up going just 4 of 16 from three-point range after they made 40 threes in the last 2 games of that West Coast swing against Denver and Portland. Vucevic just kicked the table as he came over out of frustration.
It might be a lawsuit. My knee got hurt right there. I might be suing over here.
I want $150,000.
$150,000.
Cam and
I'll settle for
asset management in a time of disruptive change. Back courtside of the United Center, Adam Amin, Stacey King. We're pleased to be joined by the wonderful, legendary Neil Funk. Great to see you, my friend.
Yeah, it's great to see you, Adam. I really appreciate the time
that you and I can spend together.
Yeah, that we can spend together.
Wow.
Stacey apparently is trying to repair his phone or get a charge.
You know what? Don't tell everybody what's going on behind the scenes.
We're just trying to pull the curtain back.
You were brilliant last night, and I was so happy that you came. I know you had a tough travel, but I really do.
I told you,
I appreciate that.
Only for you, they could have got. I could have been on the other side of Antarctica. I'd have found a way to get back for that honor for you.
I thought you were going to tell me they paid you.
Well, I didn't get paid. Keep the checks in the mail, buddy.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Obviously, this is a celebratory weekend for the Bulls, but I wanted to just get your perspective on what this means. Bob was here. John Paxson is part of this, one of your old radio partners, obviously, what he did on the floor. But can you kind of contextualize what this weekend meant?
Well, it was great because I got to see some guy, Bill Cartwright, who I hadn't seen in some time. They're the guys that did the heavy lifting. Pax and Horace and Bill Cartwright, Norm Van Leer. They did the heavy lifting. Johnny Bach. I just told their story, essentially. And so I was thrilled when they said I was going to go in with this class, in particular because of Pax and because he had been my partner. And I'd been with him as a player, as a partner, as a general manager, and so I was so pleased that I was included in that particular class.
I know you've always talked about the relationships, and Stacey obviously is.
Well, he's my guy, and as you know, he's difficult to work with. He's a bully. He's a bully. But
we all say that all the time.
But I love him. He's like my brother, and Stacey and I could not speak for a year, and then start talking, and it's like we were together last night. Yep. So he's my guy, and he was wonderful last night, and some of the things that he said. So he lied, but he was a wonderful guy.
Speaking of checks in the mail, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tell me,
so
Neil, how was it having the grandkids here and having the family here to share this moment?
That was the neatest thing, that my entire family came. So there's 6 of them. My son, my daughter-in-law, and then 4 kids. So we don't get together as a family all that often. So to have them here last night was really, really special.
That's awesome. And they're getting older too, man.
Yeah, they're getting big.
Oh my goodness.
Part of the passage of time.
So Adam's going to earn his money now.
Now apparently I have to. Well, I was hoping that this would be a more efficient words per. Now that we've got both of you guys sit next to each other.
Well,
Vucevic is away and won't connect.
Here's my thought is they were down, what, 18, right 16?
Yep.
They'll come back and win this.
Bucella's down, right to roll his ankle down. He's not getting up.
Bucella's is still on the baseline on the opposite end of the floor, and A tough first 35 seconds. Buzelis in clear discomfort as he grabs that right ankle.
Well, he's a tough kid too. Everybody stepped on his foot. Oh,
a step and a twist.
He's a tough kid. For him to stay on the floor, it's a serious.
As deep as this team is, they can ill afford to have injuries to key guys anyway.
I totally agree.
In particular, Buzelis has been such a spark plug, and this is second season. We'll step aside as he's tended to and looked at. Osmanis Buzelis had to be helped up and helped off the floor by multiple members of the Bulls training staff. They headed back towards the locker room. Went down grabbing his right ankle area after stepping on a foot and then twisting that a little bit. So it's Dalen Terry getting the initial call off the bench here in the third quarter. Adam Amin, Stacey King, joined by Neil Funk on this Ring of Honor weekend. We saw the shot of you and Bob and John Paxson, and just the thought of that final shot that you and Bob both had the opportunity to call was a block there from Ware. Just the memories of that moment, because I imagine that's one of those moments in a long broadcast career that's going to be burned into your memory forever.
Yeah, I'll never forget that, Adam. I mean, and I've got a picture of it with Michael kind of hanging in the air in that pose that he went into, and one of the iconic NBA moments, maybe all time.
Certainly of the 20th century, and to have it come down to that. And again, we talked about your call, the Hanks fires scores, kind of emblazoned into the head of a lot of Bulls fans in that time. Can you even put into words what a 30-year career with essentially one team and basically a half-century career in the NBA means?
Yeah, no, I can't. It'd be hard to quantify that.
Yeah.
But I can say that I enjoyed it every step of the way.
Yeah.
And as you know, as broadcasters, we don't really consider this work.
No.
You consider it enjoyment and something you would. They don't have to pay you to do it. Well, they should pay you, except Stacey. And Stacey gets he's not working for free, but you and I would have done it for free because we love the game.
Wow. Wow.
Stacey was not expecting this to just be a roast.
You know what? I know. Listen. He's broadcast a lot of games over the years, and we said this last night. I asked him last night. I said, "What was it like to be the guy that called George Washington's first game?" and he responded. John Adams had a nice jump shot. Thomas Jefferson, he fouled too much.
He was a point guard.
So he's been around a long time.
I am, but I'm going to let you guys go to work.
You don't leave until the timeout.
Timeout?
You can't pull a Johnny Kerr and walk off in the middle of the broadcast.
Yeah, Johnny would have just taken a headset off.
Yeah, you don't pull a Johnny Red on us, buddy. Hey, so here's a serious question, though. Being away from the game now, being off the headset, what do you think today's game looks like to you?
It doesn't look right to me, and I say that not in an unkind way. And I don't want to be one of those guys, oh, back when I was doing the games, it was more of this and more physical and all that. But it's become, to me, it's become a jump shooting contest. And just three-pointer after three-pointer after three-pointer. And I'm just not sure that's the way the game of basketball was designed to be played. I know analytics play a large part in it, but when you see three guys out on a break and two just fan as deep as they can go to the corners, and the other guy stops at the three-point line, kind of eschewing a driving layup or a driving kick or something. I don't know. It baffles me.
Think about this. You've seen a lot of great players. You've seen Dr. J play. You've seen Michael, Magic. You've seen all these Kareem, all these great players play. There's always this debate how those guys would do in this era and how some of our best players here would do good and how they would play in the eras of the 90s. What do you think?
Somebody asked me that question a couple of weeks ago, and my response was, I said, let me give you an example. Moses Malone would lead the league in rebounding by 5 rebounds if he was playing today. It wouldn't even be close. Now think about it, with the spacing that these teams have today, Moses was he was the greatest rebounder and definitely the greatest offensive rebounder I ever saw. So, I mean, look, Doc, Michael, Larry Bird, Magic, they were so gifted they could have played in any era.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, could Bob Cousy have played in this era? I don't know, but I know the guys that I saw were so gifted athletically, they could have played in any era.
I agree.
Coro a little bit banged up as he landed awkwardly, but he'll get 2 shots out of it as the Heat have a 20-point lead. We're with Neil Funk. You obviously played the game. That's one of the things that Mike Breen always pointed out, that you understand nuances of the game that many play-by-play announcers just weren't able to add because of your experience playing at the collegiate level, at a very high level. What are some of the things that you feel from your playing days still do apply to this style of basketball? Because I do think we have a tendency to separate it, but I'm curious where the really good nuances still fit into the game.
Well, first of all, I mean, and I think Stacey would agree with this, you love to see great passing, you love to see great defense, and there's some teams that have those elements. I thought Oklahoma City last year clearly was a team that was terrific offensively, but even better defensively. They're much the same this year from what little I've seen of them. But so there are little things. I do think that this 3-point shooting thing, and then Stacey and I were just talking about this. How can a guy get from just inside the 3-point line to the rim and never dribble a ball? And they keep saying, well, Euro step and gather and hold on to the gather step and all this stuff. I mean, Michael Jordan and Julius Erving couldn't get to the rim without dribbling from out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do players today do it? So it's officiated differently. It's played differently, and and again, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. The NBA is as popular as ever, but it's just different than the way I grew up watching and playing the game.
Well, and you know what? And just remember this. In Indiana, there's a lot of great players that have been in Indiana. His nickname is the Splendid Splinter because he could shoot the basketball and he was slinky like a minx, So he's in like the Hall of Fame. He scored some points. Don't sleep on Neil's game. Neil can flat out shoot. Don't sleep. The Splendid Splinter, baby.
Maybe when I was younger, the Great Minx.
The Great Minx. That's your nickname. The Great Minx.
Oh my goodness.
I think we just had an ejection. Kevin Huerter just got teed up. Thought for a second Tony Brothers had ejected him from the game.
Well, certainly, I think he has.
I think he has ejected him from the game. Kevin Huerter.
What did he do?
Typically mild-mannered. Yes. Turned around and had something apparently to say to Tony Brothers, 32-year officiating veteran. And Billy Donovan immediately coming out to defend his player here and asking for a review after all of that. I wonder if this had to do with the ball. Let's see what Tony has to say about this on the mic.
A technical foul has been called, and the player has been ejected. The play is being reviewed.
So I think because Kevin tapped the ball out of frustration and it went towards one of the officials.
That's not an ejection. That's a technical foul, maybe.
Very quick from Tony Brothers to eject Kevin Huerter.
They're reviewing it for a hostile act.
And it looked like he just kind of deflected
tapped the ball.
Yeah.
He was upset that he thought he had the block. Come on, man, you can't eject him for that. If he would have fired the ball at the referee, I can see your point. So he got all ball there, and that's what he was upset about. And he just
after review, the play meets the standards of an ejection. Therefore, he's ejection for the contact with the ball to the official.
So I very much understand the frustration of Kevin Huerter in this particular regard, because I do not think.
Watch this. This wasn't intentional.
Yeah, I don't
He's
think.
not even looking at the
I don't
ref.
think Kevin was really looking at the official, Che Flores, when he tapped that ball. So I understand his frustrations completely here. It felt like a very quick ejection from Tony Brothers there.
Listen, if he would have taken the ball and threw it at her, I can see your point. But he just slapped it out of frustration. The referee just happened to be over there, and he wasn't even looking at her.
Yeah, I wonder what the call would have been if the official hadn't been standing there and he just deflected the ball. It probably would have teed him up, and that would have been it.
Yeah, that was a quick ejection from Tony Brothers. I don't know. I'll have to question that one a little bit.
I imagine any player wants to have some form of leeway when it comes to showing some level of emotion when there is a call that may not go their way. Obviously, if you're not directing it right at an official, that's preferable, and that seemed to be the case there for Kevin. But again, understanding completely why he'd be frustrated in that moment.
And Kevin Huerter doesn't have that kind of reputation.
He's very mild-mannered player.
You got to know, KYP, know your personnel. You know who you're dealing with. That being Draymond Green or someone like that, you can say, okay, he's capable of doing that.
There's Dosunmu working with Williams, Giddey, Terry, and Vucevic. 5 on the clock. Williams slipping through multiple defenders to use the glass and score.
I'll tell you what, Miami's defense is solid, man. They for some reason, they have the Bulls number.
Well, that hasn't changed at all. That's always been the case, it feels like, for Miami.
I've always thought Miami was fundamentally well coached. I mean,
yes.
They have been for years.
Well, and they preach defense. If you can't guard people, you're not going to play. I mean, look at Davion Mitchell right now on Vucevic.
Had the mismatch for a moment. Dosunmu uses the fake and gets the roll. A 21-point game lead has been as large as 25 for the Heat tonight.
Well, there's a vicious rumor going on in the trunk by Brady since Neal has come on. We've lost 3 players. That's what Brady said.
And you're down to 3 viewers.
Wow. Wow, Brady.
And you're down to 3 viewers.
And Williams hits a 3-pointer right on cue.
Wow. Boy, Brady's dirty, man.
But here's the thing. Brady can't fight when it's 3-on-1. Exactly. When it's the 3 of us against him. Brady's already walked out of the truck at this point. Adebayo draws a foul. That'll send him to the free throw line. Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same, Neil.
Exactly. Correct.
Oh my gosh! You want to bring back a little nostalgia here too?
Hey, Bulls fans, follow our Bulls insider KC Johnson at CHSN.com, presented by Nationwide Insurance agent Jeff Vukovich, our old buddy.
It's our old buddy.
Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at jeffvuk.com.
Hit it, Neil. Hit it.
You
hit
it.
it.
Come on,
here,
for
use
old
that.
time's sake.
Come on, you do it. Come on. Just for old times.
Nationwide is on your side.
Yes. You sound like Joe Jackson. You sound like Joe Jackson, but I'm not going to dispute Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson's not the one you want to play with, baby. You're in the group, Joe.
Oh my God!
Not to embarrass anybody, but
that's pitiful.
Well, no, not that.
You can say it.
That's not what was embarrassing. I feel a little embarrassed because I, for a moment, just then felt like a 21-year-old broadcasting student watching the Bulls games and watching the two of you, and just appreciating the dynamic between two guys from different walks of life who had a love and appreciation for the exact same thing, and that's the game of basketball.
Here's my question to you two, and I'm going to leave in just a second. The next time out.
Please, before we lose another player.
Yeah, or another viewer, and you'll be down to 2. But I was going to ask you, are you guys in nursing school on your off days? Look at these shoes.
I got Air Jordans on.
They're like nursing school shoes.
Air Jordans.
Here, well, if one of the things
put some respect on me.
One thing has changed. It has been we've gone strictly to comfort at this point.
Yes.
Listen, I cannot begrudge you that.
In that case, we were all ahead of the game.
Yes.
Good to see Matas Buzelis back out there. Came back out to a nice ovation. Heat continue to maintain a 20-point advantage. Nice backdoor. Mitchell draws defenders. Jaquez finds the excellent shooting Powell, who leaves that one short, and Buzelis the board. Terry a little out of control. Bulls regain composure. Williams the fake, the drive, the kick. Giddey a 3. Buzelis the offensive rebound. Second chance. Giddey again on the attack scores.
You got to do more of that. That'll be a timeout.
At the halfway point of the third quarter. Just really appreciate it, as always, man. Everything you've done for me, and I know continue to do for Stacey and I. You're the absolute best in the business.
That's my guy.
Thanks,
really
guys.
Appreciate you,
enjoyed it.
Congratulations.
And much like your law career for over 30 years, if you need help with a car, truck, or work injury, call Howard.
Injury law made personal. That's Aiken Law.
Take a look at the live lines powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. Currently an 18-point Miami advantage, 87-69. We hit the halfway point of this third period. We really appreciate Neil taking so much time with us. He wanted to go, and I think we were in his ear like, hey, hang around for just a little while.
Yeah, we kept on. Yeah, he wanted to go back up to those suites where there's free food.
We only get so much time during the year with him, but always checking in on us, and that was just a fun moment to get a chance to spend with you guys, sitting next to you and enjoying that dynamic, as always.
I'll tell you what, like you said, we could miss each other for a little bit of time, but we get back together. It's just like riding a bike.
During that stretch, Miami has kept the Bulls at arm's length. Every time the Bulls try to make a little push of a couple of baskets or a couple of trips in a row, Miami has answered and responded. Nice play by Tre Jones in the passing lane.
He got numbers.
He's got Giddey, who's got Buzelis. Didn't have the lift that time. Giddey is in there. He draws a foul.
Yeah, that's tough for Modest.
Coming off that ankle.
Coming off that ankle, trying to go up there and get that. Here it is right here. Good steal by Tre Jones. And again, push the ball. The Bulls got numbers, 4-on-1. And it's definitely right here. Normally, that would have been a dunk.
A foul on Jaquez will send Giddey to the line. You can join us at the United Center tomorrow night as we celebrate Neil Funk and the 2025 Ring of Honor class as the Bulls play the Wizards. Proudly presented by Magellan Corporation. Bulls.com/Ring of Honor. Give you a game reset here now that we've kind of settled back in. Miami trailed by 7 early, came back to take the advantage, and is led by as many as 25. Heat have 4 players in double figures, led by Norman Powell's 19. Larson, Adebayo, and Ware join him. Meanwhile, the Bulls are led by Josh Giddey, 16 points and 6 assists. Dosunmu has 11 in his first start of the year, but the Bulls bench is being bested, something that has not been the case more often than not this season by Miami's excellent bench. They have one of the best benches in the league right along with the Bulls. This foul on Terry is going to send Powell back to the line for a chance at a 20-point game.
You really haven't seen Jalen Smith. He was having a nice game. 8 points, 3 or 4 from the field, 9 minutes. And I thought Billy would go with the big lineup when there's Ware and Adebayo out there, especially when Modest went down with that injury.
5 minutes to play in this third quarter. Buzelis and Okoro have each dealt with a tweak of a foot or ankle in this third quarter, but Buzelis is back out there battling with Ware. Trying to gallop through what I imagine is some discomfort. Jones with the left hand, nice finish. And now the lead is down to 14.
That's about getting stops. We talk about it all the time. Try to get consecutive stops and build on that.
Mitchell with the left hand, he comes back and answers.
You got to make him shoot the ball. He's getting to the basket a little bit too easy.
Adam Amin, Stacey King, our CHSN crew. Modest Buzelis using the left hand, a little too strong. Welcome those of you who watch the Blackhawks fall to the Sabres tonight, 9-3. NBA Cup game, Emirates NBA Cup. Both teams are 1-1 in East Group C. Jaquez. Jones trying to pick him from the backside. Mitchell on the drive for Miami. His left-hand scoop is off the glass.
And again, he keeps going to the basket. Got to make him shoot the ball. Everything's a drive.
Lob in for Terry. Stripped by Jaquez. Turn right around and realize that there was a big body in Jaquez, and then a foul called on Terry to compound it. And Terry, who got the early call for Buzelis when he went out, kept it going for a couple more minutes, and now he's coming out.
Like they had Terry playing like the power forward position there that time. He was in the pick and roll. Ooh, right in the chops.
Yeah, he's slapped Davion Mitchell. And again, the clubs are both in the bonus here, so 2 shots coming. Stream the Bulls and up to 3 devices at home or on the go with the CHSN app. Signing up is as easy as ever. Head over to subscribe.chsn.com for your 7-day free trial. Terry and Giddey to the bench. It's Buzelis and Williams and Carter with Dosunmu and Jones. So this is one of the smaller Bulls lineups out there. They didn't really try to counteract the size of Miami, which continues to have Ware at the 5. Fontecchio, Jaquez, Mitchell, and Powell, the rest for the Heat.
Again, not seeing Jaden Smith out there. You wonder if there's any issue with any kind of injury.
Here's Carter, never afraid, always ready, but short on the 3. Here's Hawkins. Every time the Bulls start to get a little bit of momentum, Miami's right there to shut it down. Mitchell, foul line, knocks it down. He's got a smooth jumper from the mid-range.
Remember last year in the playing game, he came up huge for them.
He did, at both ends of the floor. Zio, the kick, Jones lines it up. Nope. Williams could not squeeze it, and Ware clears it for the Heat. They try to make it 3 consecutive wins. Tough drive by Powell with the left. Ware tried to stuff it back home, and a foul on Williams will send him to the line.
Bueno Days Coffee is November Spotlight Business presented by BMO. Bueno Days is a coffee shop located in Little Village, sourcing directly from women-run collectives in Mexico. Learn more about the program at bulls.com/business.
Ware at the stripe, Phillips, and there is Smith coming right back in. So Jalen will give a little size to the Bulls at the 5, with Buzelis at the 4, and then 3 guards in Phillips, Dosunmu, and Carter. Kel'el Ware is having a strong night yet again. Another double-double for him. That's what he's averaging on the year, and he's got 16 points and 10 rebounds. Lead is 23. Good setup by Dosunmu for Phillips, but that triple won't fall. The Bulls are just 7 of 27 back at home shooting the 3 after 2 really good nights out west. Buzelis, good deterrence.
They're going to get some offense here.
Dosunmu wasn't looking for it initially. Carter's the trailer. That's a triple. And it will not go. Team rebound to Miami. So Adebayo will come back in.
I'll tell you what, the free throw discrepancy is 34 to 19. Wow. Second most free throws shot by an opponent this year.
Nice slip to Hawkins. Knocked away though. The Bulls get a turnover. Here's Buzelis on the push. Looks healthy driving, but he missed a layup. Phillips' follow couldn't get caught cleanly. Carter trying to harass Drew Smith, who stops and gets blocked by Smith. And it's recovered to Adebayo. Working on Buzelis with the footwork and a foul on Manas.
Well, one of the problems on that fast break, the Bulls, all 4 guys were so close together. You know, you got to get out and fill out lanes to force the defense to make a decision. When you run a fast break, watch this right here. See, look how close everybody is. And you really have no passing lanes. You get that ball to the middle of the floor, guys get out and run wide, and you're going to get a dunk or layup. Bulls have 8 blocks tonight, though.
Buzelis is able to snatch that rebound. Jazz shot 41 free throws when the Bulls went out west at the start of this week. 36 from Miami tonight. Carter to Smith in traffic, and Drew Smith, the smaller of the 2 Smiths, commits the foul on Jalen.
Bulls Nation. Bring the whole family out to the United Center with family ticket packs presented by BMO. Ticket packs include a ticket, a hot dog and chips, and a drink on select games. Learn more and buy tickets now at bulls.com/family.
Well, no Kobe White tonight with the back-to-back tomorrow, so he'll be slotted in tomorrow. Isaac Okoro, we've been told, is questionable to return with a low back issue, so that awkward landing may have given him a little bit of pause in that area. There's Kobe watching. He'll be back in the lineup tomorrow. Just came back at the start of the week from that right calf strain. There's Adebayo, who floats one to nowhere in particular. Miami in control. Bulls trying to make a push. Dosunmu the blow by, and Adebayo, the recovery.
Good recovery by Adebayo. He's always been a good shot blocker.
Top 5 in Miami Heat history in shot blocks. A guy who's played just about as many games as any Heat player. Smith moves on Buzelis.
Tough shot.
Drew Smith is 6'2", and he was able to finish that cleanly in the paint.
Play like a power forward.
Buzelis, rainbow shot won't go, and there is Smith with the rebound. Their smaller players really do play bigger than they are, as Fontecchio, one of their bigger players, was out of bounds there.
Fontecchio struggled tonight. 0 for 5 for the 3. 2 points. He's got 3 assists.
That 0 for 5 from 3 is a rarity. He came in shooting 47%, top 5 in the NBA. He and Powell have been outstanding from outside this year. Bulls can go 2 for 1. Dosunmu misfires the 3, though, and that's been a storyline for the Bulls offense this evening. Heat look for their biggest lead of the night. Adebayo with an offensive foul as Phillips was able to get in front of him.
It was a good job by Julian Phillips taking that right in the chest.
You have to be in a legal guarding position and essentially, you hear that phrase, beat him to the spot. You stayed chest to chest or chest to shoulder. They drew the charge. Dosunmu shut off by Jaquez. There's where that frame comes into handy and forces the turnover. That's the length and size of Jaime Jaquez.
This smaller lineup with the Bulls really should be quicker. He's playing the small forward position. The 2 guards.
There's Jaquez, Fontecchio on 3, and it's good for Miami's biggest lead of the night and the Bulls' largest deficit of the season. Smith, no, and it's a 27-point margin at the end of 3. The Bulls have not been in this position all year. They've got 12 men, all Miami Heat since the late stages of the first quarter. It's been an impressive, balanced effort from this Heat squad tonight.
Well, it started with the aggressive offensive rebound, second chance points in the very first quarter, and they got the Bulls on their heels. I mean, they attacked the Bulls. They hit them right in the mouth. And, you had Bam Adebayo had a great first half. Ware had a great first half. They were the leading scorers, but guys like Davion Mitchell-Smith have come in and played well.
Again, they're not at full strength. No Jovic, no Andrew Wiggins tonight, and Tyler Hero is yet to play a play in the regular season. He's expected to make his season debut on Monday, perhaps, when the Heat hosts the Dallas Mavericks. The Heat are in a rare road environment tonight, actually. They're in the midst of a 13-game stretch where 10 of their games are at home. This is one of those 3 road games. Carter turns it over. Phillips and Smith with Carter, Giddey, and Dosunmu. Adebayo with Drew Smith, Fontecchio, Johnson, and Jaquez. It's Fontecchio trying to shoot himself out of a funk tonight. Jaquez grabs that offensive rebound on a 50-50 ball, and he earned it there and gets 2 more. Adebayo just stuck his paw up there and nearly got a steal.
At some point, you got to say, we're going to with another game tomorrow. How long are you going to leave guys like Giddey out there, especially coming back from an ankle injury that he had on the West Coast trip?
Loose ball knocked away, saved by Carter, but to Drew Smith. Jaquez got met by Smith, no jump ball, but a block. Another block for the Bulls. Here's Giddey. Dosunmu. Carter. Open for 3. Good.
Boy, he's getting them up.
He continues to struggle.
8 3-point shots tonight.
Just 1 for 8. That one goes down. That's a long 2 for Jaime Jaquez. That pushes the lead back up to 28. 2 minutes into the 4th. Heat dominating. knock it down from half court. It's been a tumultuous year at times for the Miami Heat, including their head coach, Erik Spoelstra. As Benny knocks it down right before he's got to exit the floor. That is a true buzzer beater for Benny. Cue the percolator. And I'm all for letting Benny just vibe for a second. We mentioned, though, it's been a tumultuous month for Erik Spoelstra. The Heat were on a road trip at the beginning of the month, and he came back to discover that his house had gone up in flames. Thankfully, his children were at their mother's at the time, but Spoelstra got word while he was on the charter flight back home from a road trip that there was a fire on his street. He came home and realized that's my house. So it's been a kind of a scary month as Phillips gets blocked from the backside. But good to know that everybody in the Spoelstra family was safe, most importantly, and that there's been a lot of support around the community in the Coral Gables and South Florida area for Erik Spoelstra, one of the good guys in the NBA.
Definitely. Like I said, I was there for Spoelstra's first year in Miami, and with his responsibility.
There's Fontecchio on a nice feed from Adebayo.
With his responsibilities, where he worked his way up, man, he got it. He got it from the mud, as like to say. Like he was doing basically working for free, and doing the video coordinating and just spending time in there with the coaches, learning. His father was a coach, and just learning, behind Pat Riley and Stan Van Gundy and those guys like that, and it's turned out to be a very good Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah, Hall of Famer for sure.
Because if you look at the teams he's had and what he's done with sometimes so little, it's been very impressive.
Assuming that this score or the margin holds, it'll be win number 797 in the regular season for Spoelstra. He's closing in on 800. He'd be the 17th coach in NBA history to reach that mark.
He's still young.
He's only 55 years old.
Yeah, he's still got some years.
Larson lobbing it on Adebayo. A whistle, though, right before the shot clock expired, and there was a foul called. They'll check to see if it occurred prior to the shot clock expiring. It would be on Williams. It would be his fifth.
Again, there's those common sense switches. Even though the game's the way it is right now, you have to have the common sense switch. You're not going to switch Jalen Smith on a guard and leave Bam Adebayo in the paint. Stay on Bam.
To see if the foul occurred prior to the expiration of the 21-second clock.
They'll review that.
Because what did they just do? They threw it right into Bam.
Yep.
They took advantage of the mismatch.
Well, that's, again, some of the understanding that it feels like Miami Heat teams in general have understood.
Just talk. No switch. Just talk. Hard show, get back. There's no need to switch that. And then you leave a mismatch inside. This is what I hate so much about switching, because the rule of thought is when you're switching, you're keeping guys on three-point shooters. Okay.
After review, the foul occurred prior to the expiration of the 24-second shot clock. The game clock will be reset to 8:52. There will be 2 shots.
So you're trying to take away three-point shooting, but when you have a mismatch, you're constantly chasing. You're constantly running and trying to, a mismatch in the paint between a big and small, small and big. You're constantly chasing and playing from behind, and you still leave three-point shooters open. Because how many times have you seen in the game, Adam, where the ball is swung, where the guard goes off a screen against the big man, gets to the paint, you collapse, they kick it to the corner, they swing it, one more extra pass, guy wide open.
Yeah.
If you don't switch those and you hard show and get back, you talk on defense, you don't have to do that. You can still stay on shooters and play defense the old-fashioned way. Get through screens. Fight through screens.
You always talked about your preference, and Phil Jackson's preference when switching screens was only same-size guys. There's Williams, a 3.
And really back in those days, switching, Johnny Bach, the late Johnny Bach would always say, switching is for, what? There's no switching. Play your man. If you want to play, get out and guard your guy. And that's how it was.
There's Smith with the left hand. He drives in. Johnny Bach, the architect of what was known as the Doberman defense. Fontecchio scores as Miami comes right back. There's some of the track meet that we expected tonight.
Miami's Miami's coming out with some fresh legs. They catch a Bulls team that has played a lot of games in a short period of time.
They look sluggish, I mean, admittedly. And again, this is game 4 of 5 at a 7-day stretch. And every team has to go through these stretches. And a lot of teams that go through these stretches don't look all that far off from what we've seen tonight. But the NBA does not care. Now, I'm not saying the league. I'm saying every team has to deal with it. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you, nor should they, because that's the schedule.
Listen, I get it. I mean, we've had some schedules where we played 4 games in 5 nights. Okay, but you know, this team's had to play 6 games in 8 days. I mean, that's ridiculous. And we've had to go on both coasts. We've had to go out east, come back and play here in Chicago, and then take it back out west, and then come back and play. I mean, we got in. They got in yesterday at 5:30. You know, so of course, and that was coming from Portland. And they had some really tough games out there. They played 2 games in 4 nights. I mean, that's tough. Back to back against Utah and Denver.
Williams is fouling out. That is his 6th of the night, and was going to finish as an 8-point night for Patrick Williams, right around his average, and it's been a frustrating night for him as well. Assuming it is Williams, it is, as you look at the upcoming schedule. Toyota Let's Go Places, Washington tomorrow night on the back end. And as we talked about, it will ease up a little bit. I think the next 7 games, Casey Johnson told us, the collective winning percentage for the next 7 opponents is below 40%. So at least there will be a little bit of a lightness in terms of opponent, but as Stacey has pointed out several times, and rightfully so, the Bulls have a tendency to play to the level of competition. Tonight it's been all Miami, though. 7:19 to play in the 4th.
Time left in this game, but a reminder, it is an NBA Cup game. A Bulls win would have been huge for their group standings. Milwaukee in first place right now. They play 2 tough road games next week with no Giannis, at Miami, at New York. Guys, if they don't pull this off, it's going to be really tough, if not impossible, to advance to the knockout round.
Yeah, it's the top teams in each group. There are 6 groups in the Emirates NBA Cup, so the winner of each group will advance to the knockout round, and then 1 wild card from each conference, and that's based off the tiebreakers. There's head-to-head. That's when point differential becomes a factor. That's why the current score, 35-point margin, is huge for Miami right now, because that's going to help them in that column. Then you look at points scored in the group. Then you get down to, like, you know, last year's record, things like that. But the quarterfinals are played at home courts. Semis and the championship are played in Las Vegas. Cash prize for a lot of the players is a major incentive. But tonight, as you said, Stacey, not sure how many more minutes you're going to see the main rotation guys with another game against Washington tomorrow night.
Well, see that guy right there, Zach Collins. He'll add something when he comes back.
Sure.
And that's, you know, again, when you have an opportunity with these big lineups, you got to try them sometimes. The Bulls did a couple that did against Cleveland.
Yep.
And it worked out well.
Bulls have relied on their depth, in particular at the wing position this year, to try to outpace teams. And for the most part, it's worked. But as Ruthie talked about right at the top of the broadcast, what does Miami do about as well as the Bulls, if not better?
Yes.
Let's pace you up. They're the #1 pace team in the league.
And
high deflections, high fast break.
They get after you.
They get after you on the defensive end. That's what separates these teams. As Adebayo hits one from distance to go up 39. Casey Johnson's got a tweet ready for a potential 40-point deficit.
Well, listen, this is one of those games you just flush. I mean, there's an obvious reason why they're playing the way they're playing. They had some really tough games out on the West Coast. I mean, back-to-back again against Utah, double overtime, turn around and you know, really had no business beating Denver. I don't think anybody gave them a puncher's chance to win that game, and was dominating it for 3 quarters. And then you play a Portland game where you have a 21-point lead, and you had to fight at the very end to win that one, and then get up the next day and fly back to Chicago, and got back at 5:30 yesterday. And then you got to play this team, who's, you know, they're missing some guys, but you know, they're a fresh team. I mean, it's Miami. They're one of the better conditioned teams in the NBA.
It's another good point. You always talked about how, I mean, preseason camp with the Miami Heat was brutal.
Oh, it was like Navy SEALs.
Yep.
Seriously. That Riley boy didn't play. You come out of the training camp, there were no balls out there.
Yeah. It's like
you had to run a conditioning test right from the very start. 17s.
Smith, no. Larson the rebound, flipped it up and drew a foul. Approaching the halfway point of the fourth quarter, we check in with Casey Johnson. Casey?
Adam, these are going to be the 41st and 42nd free throws by the Miami Heat. That's going to be a season high for opponent. The previous season high came in a double overtime loss on Sunday in Utah. The Miami Heat are doing this in regulation. They also have 24 second chance points. This obviously on the heels of those 38 second chance points on Wednesday in Portland. I asked Billy Donovan pregame about the Bulls preparation this week, because as you and Stacey have been talking about, this has been a weird week for the Bulls. They have 5 games in 7 days. They stayed over in Portland Wednesday, flew all day yesterday, did not have a shoot around today. He said, we showed them film of the Portland game and I expect a physical response. And obviously, guys, we've seen the opposite tonight. This is something that Zach Collins' return can help, but until then, they've got to figure out a way to get more physical.
Dosunmu from the guard position obviously brings it with the lack of size relative to some of the guys that they're going up against. It's
well,
pretty apparent.
And also to Team Scout, Team C. You know, they saw what Portland did. So they just, hey, just go for the offensive rebound. They don't box out. See right there, that's not a box out. That's a turn and go get the ball. You got to turn and put a body on a guy. You can't just use your athleticism to jump and go get the basketball. These guys are pros. They're too good in this league. Watch. Shot's going to go up. Look, nobody there. Boop. Nobody.
Too easy for Johnson there, though it was a foul regardless. Jameer Young is out there, former Chicago Bull. Played 6 games with the Bulls last year. He's guarding Jones. Kick to Carter for a 3. That won't go. Nice rebound by Ware, who's got his 12th of the night.
I kind of wonder if you're going to see Sungay come in at some point, you know, tomorrow.
Yeah, tonight Windy City was playing. He was assigned to the G League. They played Iowa tonight. That 3 goes down for Phillips. But Noah Sengay is still the only, I think you told me, the only first-round pick. I knew he was the only lottery pick that hadn't played, but apparently the only first-round pick that has yet to see the floor this year.
But he's got to get in here and let him play a little bit, especially now with the injuries that the Bulls, you know, because you know, Mott's turned his ankle, and you know when you get home tonight, that ankle's going to swell up. He might not be able to go tomorrow, but you know, he's young, athletic. He's got a very good bounce back. We've seen him do that before, but. You know, a back-to-back game and as many minutes as he's played, it can be tough to come back tomorrow.
We'll see what Modest's feeling is after tonight. We'll get some treatment, of course. Another foul on the Bulls, and what has been a choppy game all night long. The 26th foul on Chicago. The Heat have committed 18 fouls as well. It's been that type of night. You see Billy Donovan and Dan Craig, the former Miami Heat assistant, who's got a couple of championship rings under Spoelstra. Go for Fontecchio. You can see his frustration. He's 1 for 10 from 3-point range. This is the worst shooting night of his season after he had been one of the best in the league all year. Blocking foul on Larson. Ayo continuing to go downhill. Count the basket and a foul.
But look at that help right there by Johnson. And then Larson tried to take a charge.
Ayo continues to be a bright spot. Made his first start of the season tonight. He'd been coming off the bench all year. 15 points. 15 points. 16 for Giddey. 12 for Smith off the bench.
I love Ayo off the bench. I think if he stays in that role, he has a chance to be 6 man of the year. Nice move.
Ware with the jam.
I love him in that role because he comes in the game and he sparks you immediately in the game when he walks in.
There's Ayo from 3. He knocks that one down. He's been great from 2, but he hits a 3 here.
He's been playing phenomenal this season and really could be a candidate for 6 man of the year.
Imagine with Kobe White when he comes back more consistently that he'll be in the starting lineup, and Dosunmu would likely just head back to the bench. But as you've talked about, he's played in a lot of closing lineups this year. He's been a key defender late in games. He's made huge shots in the fourth quarter this year. There's Giddey. 7 to shoot. Ayo down
right by the shot blocker, Ware. And that's one thing about Iowa. He's going to compete. He got 20 points. And
Johnson hits a three.
well, I tell you, I've been impressed with Johnson. I've been impressed, with Ware.
Yep.
Wow.
Johnson undrafted, and he's turned into a nice rotation piece. Giddey gets a free run of the rim.
And they took a flyer on Ware. I mean, he won the first round. But a lot of people were saying that he was raw, and they thought he was a couple years away from playing. They took a flyer on him, and they have really developed him nicely since they've gotten him.
And they had other options right around number 15. You guys got guys like Drew Smith and Keyshawn Johnson, and they drafted Kasparis Yakuchonis out of Illinois. He has yet to play because he's trying to work himself as a potential rotation piece. This guy Larson, another guy that they got in the second round and picked up in a trade from Houston.
Listen, Pat Riley has always been the guy that's got guys from the CBA, the G League, turns guys in, takes guys off of the scrap heap, and makes them Miami Heat players. You go back to John Starks, you go back to Anthony Mason. Those guys played in the CBA and were key contributors to that New York Knicks team that played for the finals.
Dosunmu, another one.
Go back to Sean Leonard, who was in the CBA, Minnesota Gopher, great player. Picked him up.
That three goes down. Very young.
And people don't remember that Bruce Bowen. He found Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen was in their system for a little bit. Mike James. I mean, they picked up a lot of good players.
Steal by Larson. He's got a free runway with the windmill.
Larson, I didn't think he was in a dunk contest.
6'5". I thought he took off a little bit far away, and he still had the impressive elevation to finish that one. A foul on Myron Gardner, who's playing his second ever NBA game, a two-way player.
Really surprised Giddey's in the game right now.
Yeah, as am I. Pelle Larsson.
Oh, Pelle Larsson. It's like Matt McClung. Look out, I'm coming.
He's got a little more size than Mac. From Stockholm, Sweden. His dad, Christian, was an excellent player in Sweden. He was part of the national team as well. Comes from a good pedigree. Spent a year at Utah after he moved to the United States. He played one season with the Utes and then 3 strong years as a key contributor to a very good Arizona Wildcat team. And I'm with you on Giddey. I don't know why he's still in this game. Maybe just for some stabilization and maybe to get some reps on what has been the ankle issue this year at times.
Don't forget that he should be out. It's a 41-point game.
There's no reason I feel like he should be on the floor at this point. Giddey double, finds Phillips. That's a three. Won't go. Giddey battling, banking. Won't go. Minute and a half left. And right on cue, Giddey ends up getting hit in the face. And it's a foul.
Well, he's got 19 points, 7 assists, and 10 rebounds.
Oh, wow, he got the elbow. It's certainly inadvertent. Like, Johnson didn't know he was there, but man, that is rough, right to the nose.
Yeah, he's really. I might take him out, man.
I just don't know why you got him in the game at this point.
Unless you're going for a triple-double, but I mean, the triple-double.
It's a really silly thing to go for at this point in the game. Here's Smith. That won't go. Gardner the rebound. Brutal night for the Bulls. Bad turnover there by Ware. They're probably going to see their streak of 110 points scored come to a close. Well, they have a minute 20 to try to get there. 141 points for Miami. Impressive offensive night for Miami tonight.
Well, 54 points in the paint, 26 second chance points. They got 14 fast break points. Bench 54 points throughout. So this is the second time the Bulls bench has been outscored this season. New York was the first team to do it. But then the free throw shooting, 44 free throws shot to the Bulls 26.
This has been all Miami doing all the things that they do very well. They're young. Maryland on Maryland there as Smith came over for the block. Frustrating Chicago night. As Carter gets hit by Gardner. A couple of tough physical moments for Buzelis and Okoro. Herter got ejected,
which I still say was unnecessary.
I
there was no need for that.
I feel like that was a little quick on Tony Brothers' part.
Kevin Herter doesn't have that kind of reputation of being that kind of guy.
Absolutely not.
You know, so if you look at the, when you go back to look at the monitor, it's like, okay, I understand they have rules about taking care of the officials, but it was clearly he's hitting that ball just out of frustration, not at the officials. She just happened to be there as the ball bounced twice to her.
Well, Miami, meanwhile, with a very balanced effort tonight. Nobody had a 20-point game. Powell had 19. They had 8 guys in double figures.
It looks like what the Bulls are doing.
And Ware was one of them. He's the first with 20 tonight for Miami. On another dunk, that's his 4th at least. There's Carter. It's a 3.
I'll tell you what, man, Ware reminds you of like Wemby liked. Like, he doesn't have the offensive game, but the shot blocking is there, the rebound, the athleticism is there. He's only going to get better as he gets more experience.
He's good in the post. Takes advantage of mismatches.
Almost got the rebound.
Yeah, almost got his own. There's Phillips. That'll count. Won't go. Giddey. Rebound. Smith lays it in to beat the buzzer, and that will take us to the end of the night with Miami victorious. A late first quarter surge leading to a dominant Miami win, their 3rd straight. They hit the double-digit win mark. They get a victory in the NBA Cup group play in East Group C. Bulls fall to 1-2 in the Cup and fall to 8-7 on the year. And that snaps their mini 2-game winning streak. They'll get another shot tomorrow night against the Washington Wizards. It'll be Ring of Honor night. Coverage begins at 6:30 on CHSN Plus and on the CHSN app. For our producer Mark Brady, our director Russ Leonard, our associate producer Tamara Anderson, our coordinating producer Joe Collins, our executive VP of production Joe Riley, for Stacey King, Casey Johnson, Ruthie Polinsky, our entire crew. Adam.
Max One Music. Music.